Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to our 15th episode of Soul Talks with Esme. I am so grateful that you are here. I am your host, Esme Gregg. I am an intuitive spiritual coach, a certified Reiki master, and a best-selling author. And I am just so excited that you're here. We have a special day, special guest, a special topic. And let me tell you about Soul Talks with Esme. It is a live video podcast where high conscious topics are discussed with the intention to share uplifting stories and helpful personal growth tools. We can all learn together as we connect at a soul level and consciously move forward towards in our journeys towards a happy soul evolution. And today is Sunday, November 1st, 2020. And I'm just so grateful that you are here joining us either live on YouTube, on my channel, Happy Soul Evolution, on my Facebook profile, Esme Gregg, or my Facebook business page, Esme Gregg Coach. And while let me just mention a few housekeeping notes. Please do subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, the home of Soul Talks with Esme. And it would mean a lot to me if you also click the little bell for notifications. And when you do watch, leave a comment and share. That helps YouTube know that you do value the content in that channel. So I appreciate that so much. And of course, as always, I don't want to forget anybody on the replay. If you're here watching on the replay, we send you lots of love and gratitude for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Let us know in the comments as well that you are watching on the replay. OMG, guys. Okay, I haven't looked at my comments yet. Let me see. Okay, so we are going to talk about receiving. So the title today is How to Make Receiving Your Superpower. And my very special guest is Jonda Watson. Let me tell you a little bit about her, and I'll hurry up so we can bring her on the screen. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so Jonda, oh my God, I love this title. Jonda Watson is a body whisperer, a consciousness coach, and a holistic healer, among many other things. We had to pick 3 titles. So she is awesome. She empowers people to unlock the magic, miracles, and blessings in their lives, offering a variety of energy, sound, and crystal healing services, as well as consciousness coaching at her business, Luminous Blessings. Jonda helps people to have vibrant health, ease, choice, time, money, joy, fun, adventure, peace in their lives. I got in the rhythm there. Okay, let me just bring Jonda here because I'm having too much fun without her.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
What a great introduction. Thank you so much for having me today, Esme. It's so much fun to be here.
Let me change our backdrop. Thank you so much. That was too much fun reading it. That was like a rhyme.
Yeah, I like that rhythm you got going with it.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I just did that. Thank you for being here. Let me check out our comments and say hi to everybody.
Great.
As I'm trying to get over my little silliness there, but that's who I am. If you know me, that's who I am. Okay, hi guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Martha is here. Thank you. Anna, thank you. Anisha, thank you. And those of you that are watching and are not ready to say hi, that's fine. We appreciate you. Hey, Sion also is here. Okay, so So Jonda, you are in Corpus Christi. I'm in Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm. So we're, I don't know, what is it, like 100 miles, maybe 200 miles away?
Something, yeah.
I don't know.
About 3 or 4 hours away, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I'm excited. And oh my goodness, I was going to say, the story. How do we know each other? You want to tell a little bit and how we actually met, because we've actually met in person.
Yes, we have. So we have a common friend, Martha Salas Lopez, and we met at a Joe Dispenza workshop a year ago in Houston. It was an absolutely amazing workshop. And I don't know about you, but I had a really good time at it. And I know it was a real treat to meet you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yes, it was so nice to meet you. And there was another friend with you guys and Martha, and then I was with another friend, so we couldn't all sit together. But oh no, I was with like 2 or 3 other friends. It was very nice. So I love how we get to meet each other and like-minded people.
Yes, absolutely.
And yeah, so I got in a groove reading your list of all the cool things that you help people with, like money, ease, joy. That sounds so amazing. And before we get into all of that and how you got into, being an awesome healer and consciousness coach and just helping so many people, tell us a little bit about your story and how you got into what you're doing now.
Oh gosh, it goes back so far, but it started in 1997. I was invited to a Reiki circle, and I had no clue what that was. And it became a regular occurrence, and I ended up becoming a Reiki master at that time. So several months after that, and I was using it on my children and my pets and my husband and stuff like that. But it wasn't something that I used as a regular thing until about 4 years ago. And when I moved to Corpus, there was, well, at the time when all that happened, I was living in Tulsa, going through a divorce. I moved back to Houston. And then when I moved here to Corpus in 2014, there was quite an amazing community of healers here, and just more consciousness than well, there's an interim stop. I was in Marble Falls for 9 years as well, and there wasn't a whole lot of conscious people in that area that I knew of at the time. And I moved down here and I met just some really amazing people. And but things started shifting. I was doing a whole bunch of volunteer work, but I was asking the question, is this really a contribution to my life? And one day something happened, and I decided, or I just had the awareness that it wasn't, and I just stopped. But then I didn't have anything to do. Like, what do you do with your life? And I had been following Dr. Dane here on YouTube and, his Facebook page. And one day I just go, what now? What do I do with my life now? I was kind of clueless. And I just had this awareness that I wanted to take an Access Bars class, which is one of the classes that he teaches. And I didn't know why. I just knew that I knew that I knew. And I found a lady who came to Port Aransas, which is near Corpus. She lived in Austin, and we scheduled a class together. And I was going to be her only student. And she messaged me a few days later and said, Dane here and Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, are going to be in Houston teaching an Access Bars class. They've never actually taught a class together before, and I think you should go to that. Well, it was so funny, Esme, because it was on the exact same day I had scheduled with her.
Oh, wow.
It was. And so I learned how to run Access Bars. And I came home and I started practicing on all my friends. Like, I would just call them up. Can I run your bars? Like, I just learned this thing. I need someone to practice on.
And we'll go into detail a little bit more about what that means. So
yes,
just
absolutely.
Telling everybody, hold that thought.
Hold that thought. So I started running bars on all of my friends, and I decided that I wanted to learn how to teach it. And so I contacted the original lady and I scheduled my second class with her. And just by running bars on all my friends, I ended up taking 5 people to that class with me.
Cool.
Many of them have gone on to become bars facilitators or teachers as well themselves. And I've probably taught over 60 or 70 people how to do bars since that happened 4 years ago.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so you have an office, an area
Yes.
that you welcome clients in.
Yes.
That's where you are right
Right
now.
behind me. Yes. Yes. So I have a treatment room. And since then, I've learned just, wow, some amazing other things with Access Consciousness. I do over 50 body processes, energetic facelifts, energetic synthesis of structural embodiment, and something called Symphony of Possibilities. And at the
Yes.
end of this, in the chat, I will put in my next event that's coming up, and I do a free event once a month for everybody, and they're just group tasters for people to know more about Symphony of Possibilities.
That sounds so lovely. I was reading, I think you already posted something about it, and I was reading it. It just sounded so magical and relaxing and beautiful.
It is.
And let me just say hi to a couple more people. Hi, Celeste. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Beautiful soul. And yeah, and if you guys have any questions, also, write them up. And okay, so I guess we can just kind of go into what our access are. Right? What are
access bars? So there's 30.
And also thank you for sharing your story. Appreciate you.
You're so welcome. Since then, I've gone on and I've learned sound healing, crystal healing, past life readings. It's just been like a journey. The past 5 years has been, really getting into more consciousness and doing things that are able to help people change their lives. But my real love is access bars. And that's, we have 32 points on our head. And probably I guess the best way to explain it for somebody who is not familiar with it is it's similar to acupressure, but it's not acupressure points. So these, there's 32 bars of energy on our head. And when they're lightly touched, they help release the electromagnetic component of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So really what that means is when you have something that's up in your world and there's an energy around it or stress around it or, the monkey mind around it, you can't let it go. Access bars dissipates it, but it changes literally every area of your life. And you don't know what those areas are going to be until you start having your bars run. It might be improved relationships or your business. It helps you, access bars actually help you learn to receive more, which is the subject of our talk today. But it teaches the body how to receive. And it teaches the body how to receive with a sense of ease that I haven't found with anything else that I've come across in my life. Years of therapy, meditation, Reiki, I've done body talk, massage, rolfing. Nothing other than access bars has really changed most of the things, those conditions in my life that I've wanted to change. Wow. So I've changed chronic pain, TMJ syndrome that I've been living with for 16 years has just gone away. So it's changed the health of my body. It's changed my relationships. It's changed my money flows. And I see that with all of my clients. They walk out of here stressed out and they leave with this just sense of relief, like I can do it now.
That's amazing. And so they would lay down on the treatment bed and you just
I'm just touching different points on their head. It's a funny configuration with some of them. But
amazing.
It is.
And it lasts, I guess, about an hour or less.
Yeah, the sessions last about an hour. And there's just an amazing sense of relief. Afterwards, you usually sleep really well, after that. So it really helps people with insomnia. It helps if you've got headaches or pain in your body. It's just one of the most amazing things I've ever come across in my life.
That's amazing. I have heard of them. A friend introduced me, or just the name of it,
Mhm.
but I've never had it done. So
Well,
I
you're
do
in
want
for
to
a
try it.
real treat when you get it done. Yes.
Yes, I do. I'm so excited to try it. So and to learn more about it through
Mhm.
you, and also you tell us a little bit about the symphony of what do you call it?
Symphony of possibilities.
Of
So,
possibilities.
yes. I took that class this past summer, and it's one of those things that's almost undefinable. You're bringing in energies from the universe. It really is a symphony, so that you're experiencing change in your body. Um, you're being the energy of symphony of possibilities. Similar to when you're doing Reiki, you're being the energy of Reiki and working with universal life force energy. This is similar in a way, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I love to invite people to the tasters, because it gives them an opportunity to see what sessions are about.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll share that link
Yes.
later. And
Yes.
oh, Anna is here. Anna, another friend, Anna from Greece. Thank you for being
Yay.
here.
Hello.
And um, yeah, you guys, if you have any questions, start typing them. So we talked about access bars. That's the main service that you do, that you
Mhm.
offer. And it really does sound amazing, because I mean, just getting a massage on your head, right? Like when we get our hair washed by somebody else, like
Mhm.
just that manipulation. I know when you're doing it, you're going,
Very
like the
specific, yeah,
specific
bars of energy, yes.
areas and all of that. But but I can just imagine, because just getting, even massaging ourselves, and it's relaxing on its own. So it sounds beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah.
And
Gary Douglas likes to say, at the worst, you'll feel like you've had a great massage, and at best, your whole life will change.
yeah, like it's a win-win.
It is.
Um, and that sounds so amazing. How does it activate the power of receiving? How does it help us to learn to receive the access bars?
You know, what is unique about it is that when you start releasing the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, the things that are limiting you, the things that you've got on a loop that you're repeating over and over again, you're actually changing, you're actually changing the neurochemistry of your body. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about that in his workshops. And when you start changing these things, when there's that kind of a release of limitations, of the blocks in your life, it allows your body to be open to receive.
And those blogs can be basically small, medium,
They can, yeah,
main
any
block,
size.
and traumas, right? Like those.
Yeah.
So it's like if something happens, we store that energy, right? And so
Mhm.
it can be something minimal, like you got yelled at for, I don't know, as
Mhm.
a little kid, for whatever something, and you store that, and you stored it somewhere,
Right.
and or some big traumatic event,
Mhm.
maybe like a car accident, right? So our body
Right.
really gets affected. So it's not necessarily always a spiritual or energetic. It can also
Right.
be a physical event, and
It
when our
can.
body stores all of that.
Yeah. And just like the child being yelled at, anytime someone raises their voice, you close yourself in. You're like, you know, and by closing yourself in, you're not open to receive anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it really, when you get rid of that trauma from your childhood, or the anxiety or the stress or the PTSD that might have come as a result of an accident, or a divorce or a breakup or losing someone you love, when that starts to dissipate, the body is more able to receive from everything.
And the way I see it is like, I'll hold up my glass. It's like, I mean, right now it has water, but if we empty the glass, or at least if it's clear, right? So we let go of the trauma, drama, stress, then it's ready to receive, right? I can pour
Right.
more water into it. So that's basically it. It's like if we release that somehow. And for some people, Reiki will work. For some, weekly massages will work. For some, exercise and meditation will work. So you kind of have to really be your own spokesperson, and try different things and to see what works.
Mm-hmm.
And like taking responsibility for our own healing. And I wanted to read a quick comment here.
Okay.
Yes, Sion was saying that him and his ex-wife, they had who is an access bar practitioner, and she would do access bars on both of them while they were going through separation and eventually divorce, and doing it through the process that helped them to let go of old patterns and emotions, and to make the divorce a little bit easier. So imagine that. What a beautiful experience, right? To help each other.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's amazing. Thank you, Sion, for sharing. So yes, and that's who I heard about access bars from.
Very cool.
And so so wow, that makes sense. Okay, so I thought there was some magical reason, but obviously that makes sense. Like, so releasing the old, releasing the trauma, the drama, or at least starting to, right? Because sometimes it takes different cycles.
Mm-hmm. And something different shows up with each session. But the truth is, it feels like magic.
Oh, something is really calling me to try it. So when you get a chance, I do want a contact. You said you have a friend here in Houston, so I would love to go and try it.
Okay.
Because I've been really feeling a lot of just pressure, and I do Reiki on myself, and I meditate every day. But I think, sometimes we just need something. And I have been going to the chiropractor once a week. My clients, after I do spiritual or Reiki sessions with them, they kind of get shocked when I tell them, do you go to a chiropractor? Do you exercise? Do you, drink enough water? And they're just like, what does that have to do with this? I'm like, it's a system, all of it. It's affected, or, everything works together. So like what we're eating, the activities that we're doing. And so, so the same with the different modalities that we use. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And okay, so let's talk a little bit more. We got into the topic of receiving. And so the way I learned, and I'm very good at giving, and only until recently have I become aware, number one, that people can take advantage of that, right? So there's people that are the takers, right?
Yeah.
And we get mad at them, but really they know that they like to receive, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think not everybody has a bad intention. They're just like, hey, yeah, like I'll take what you're giving me, type of thing. And they may not know how to give. So I think there's two sides to the equation. But also on the same token, I think, and it's what I wrote in the post, and when we were talking about, is that it's a cycle, right? It's a flow of energy, giving, receiving, giving, receiving. In nature we see that, in our anatomy, everywhere. Yeah. And so when somebody wants to give us something, questions, do we say thank you and we're just appreciative, or do we feel bad? Do we feel like, oh no, I can't take that, or I don't have anything for you, like Christmas season is coming up, right? So it's like you have this people have this thing where they may not feel ready, or they don't know how to accept and gratitude. And sometimes if we don't receive properly, we can block that energy,
Absolutely.
right? That flow.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit more about that, and how do you see receiving as the superpower?
Oh, wow. When receiving is your superpower, and we'll get into this more, there is this simultaneity, this contribution with the universe, where you're gifting to it and it's gifting to you. And
Yes.
that increases all of the possibilities that you have available to you. And that's how you make receiving your superpower. So
Wow.
I have 5 tips.
Oh, yay. Okay. So
Okay.
everybody get your pens out before.
Okay.
Hey, Dua's watching from Jordan. Hi. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So, okay. So 5 tips.
5 tips. So the first one is, and I'm going to look down at my notes, receiving is not synonymous with deserving or being worthy. So do you deserve sunlight? Do you deserve oxygen? Do you deserve the beauty of a flower or a tree? No. It's all just there to be a contribution to you and for you to be a contribution to it.
Wow.
So that first tip is you don't have to deserve it or be worthy of it, of whatever it is. If it's money, or if it's a great relationship, if it's more fun or joy in your life, like all of those things are limitless and you don't have to deserve it to receive them. Which gets us to tip number 2. So we want to choose a gift and receive reality, which is very, very different than the give or take reality that we see around us. So like you brought up, if you're living in a give and take reality, when someone gives you something, you expect, there's an expectation. Okay. So give and take is about expectation, whereas, or it's a polarity, give and take. Okay. Whereas gifting and receiving is a possibility. So there's a simultaneity with gifting and receiving. So if somebody makes you just a beautiful, yummy cake, just because they care about you and they desire to do something lovely for you because you're a gift to them, would you not receive it? Would you go, no, I can't accept that cake? So if you made a cake for me and I didn't receive it, how would you feel?
Right.
So there's that simultaneity of gifting and receiving. You gift me something, but it's a gift to you that I receive it. Right? So we're looking for that gifting and receiving reality, and to be in that place of it. Okay. Which gets us to tip number 3. So receiving is where everything is a contribution to you and you're a contribution to it. So if you're willing to receive it, everything is a contribution to you. So that's the clothes that you're wearing. It's the furniture that you've got in your home. It's the plants in your yard. Even the weeds and the insects are a contribution to you. It's the food that you have in your kitchen. Literally everything that is in your space, you've got there because it's a contribution to you, right? And when we don't acknowledge the contribution that it is to us and that we are to it, we can't receive it. And when we can't receive it, we can't receive ourselves, but then we also can't receive from the universe. So the universe, everything in the universe is looking to contribute to you if you let it. But you have to put your walls and your barriers down, which leads us to tip number 4. So tip 4 is barriers keep you from receiving all of you. So what would happen right now if you let all of your barriers down? What could you receive then? So we learn at a very early age to put barriers up Just like you mentioned with the child who's been yelled at, we put barriers up for every time someone raises their voice at us. So we use those barriers to protect the places of ourselves that are so vulnerable that the mere idea of exposing them to others just terrifies us. So,
wow. So receiving would expose those barriers.
yeah. So we go through life making choices and choosing what's possible based on these personally fabricated walls that we've put up around us. And we think that we're protecting ourselves from the unknown, but the walls and the barriers keep you from you. And they keep you trapped in the cycle of the known, often dreaming of adventure and choice and possibilities that you know is out there beyond the barriers. So every time you make a choice to drop a barrier and go beyond the edge of what's comfortable, you access more of you, more of what's actually possible for you, and you get to access the magic of you.
Wow.
Yeah. Which leads us to tip number 5. So receiving is a function of being. So what you are willing to be determines what you can receive. So receiving is a function of being, and it is not linear. So if you think I am kind, I will receive kindness. That never works because it's linear. You get out of linearity by thinking, if I'm willing to be kind to myself, then I will receive kindness. So that is what actually works. You have to be willing to be it for you to receive it.
Boom.
Okay, so to recap.
I really
Okay.
felt that. And while you're recapping, I want to hear in the comments.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
They wrote,
Anna
that's
says,
super
please
powerful.
share.
Please share all 5 again.
Okay, we're going to do that.
Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, I lost, and I do have a question on number 2.
Okay. We'll ask it when I recap that one.
Yes.
So number 1 is receiving is not synonymous with deserving or being worthy. Number 2, we want to choose a gift and receive reality, which is very different than the give or take reality that we see around us. So what was your question about that?
So you used the example of like, if I make you a cake,
Mm-hmm.
And you not receiving it, right? How would it make me feel? And so like during Christmas season or when we are exchanging gifts, right? There are some people, some of our loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe we are like that. So I'm asking because that popped in my mind. What if, let's say, I make you a chocolate cake,
Mm-hmm.
and without knowing that you don't like chocolate cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but let's say you let me know that you don't like chocolate cake. Oh, Anisha got it. Anisha is so awesome at she catches our quotes.
She's great.
Thank you, Anisha. You rock. So I just wanted to maybe get into a discussion of that after maybe you go through it.
No. This is a good time to talk about that. So when I receive your cake, it doesn't mean I have to eat it.
Yes.
I just have to receive it. And I receive it with a sense of gratitude because it's not about the cake that you made. It's about your caring for me.
It's almost like it's the thought that matters.
Right. And I can admire the cake, and I mean, most importantly, I am honored that you have made me this cake and that you have put this time and this effort, and most importantly, your joy into it. I don't have to eat it. I can share it with other people. I can admire it,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't mean you have to eat it, but you can still receive it.
Yes. And I think that's a great lesson for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I think we always only really want to be joyful when we receive what we really, really, really want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So beautiful. Yeah, Anisha got them. So then number 3 would be?
Receiving is where everything is a contribution to you and you are a contribution to it.
Yes. Beautiful. And if you guys have any questions, let's see. Gratitude. Yes. Love what you're saying, Jonda. So yeah, it's about the gratitude part in the receiving.
It is.
And then number 4, you had.
Barriers keep you from receiving all of you.
I love that so much.
So sometimes we actively have to say barriers down, barriers down, barriers down, and just let them go. Because when those barriers are down, we can receive the sunlight and the wind and the trees and the flowers and the beauty all around us. And we can receive the contribution of the beautiful things in our home and the people that we live with and our friends and our pets and, the insects on our property, we can be a contribution to all of that, and it can be a contribution to us. But when we've got the walls and barriers up, you can't receive.
And it's almost like we can practice receiving those things that we take for granted, right?
Mm-hmm.
That are not a technical gift, like, oh, here's a new iPhone.
Right.
Like for me, it's funny. I don't like lizards too much.
Mm-hmm.
Long story, geckos, little lizards. Just long story. I grew up with them watching me, take showers in Colombia, and at night they would be all over the walls, and then the little green ones and the little white ones and whatever. Well, I just don't want them in my house, right? So I don't like that. But they're around in the porch or the back porch. And they always surprise me. They love to show up in my life. And I mean, I may scream, I may react, like, oh my God. But like, there's one right here on my window, and he's just like looking at me. And so it makes me think like, yes, I see you and I'm grateful for you. And I'm so glad that you're not here on my desk.
You could also be grateful for the window.
Right. So it's almost like it's just taking notice. So it's that mindfulness, the appreciation and gratitude, right? And it's receiving the gift in the gratitude, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I love how you said, I'm looking at Anisha's notes on number 4, barriers keep you away from all that you can receive. They keep you away from you. Drop the barriers to access the magic of you.
Yes.
The magic of you. So that's inside of us. That is not dependent on anybody,
correct,
anything outside of us.
It's not dependent on anybody else's points of view or their opinions of you or what they think of you. It's it's all about you, like all of your magic, all of the light that you be in the world.
Yeah. It's almost like and I see people are really connecting with this one, and we'll get to number 5, but I think number 4, somewhere I read, I'm sure, but basically it's like we can 2 or 3 people can look at the same flower, right? And one person may say, oh, oh, that's so small and it's not very bright or whatever. And another person can maybe say like, oh, well, there's some bees on that flower. So it's kind of like a nicer compliment to the flower or about it. And then the third person can be like, oh, wow, that's the most beautiful flower I've ever seen. Look at those bright colors, right? It's the same flower.
It is.
So what's changing is the perception of each person. So it's what's going on inside of us and how we see that thing that is there. So it's there just gifting us its presence. Oh, so beautiful.
The person number 3 is more willing to receive all of the flower. And when you're willing to receive all of the flower, you're willing to receive more of your own magic.
And that really connects with accepting ourselves as we are.
Yeah.
Seeing and loving the imperfections, like we were talking. I was telling you before going live, I was like, yeah, my hair and my eyebrows and this, but it's just like this acceptance. And so anybody that's sitting there judging others or judging yourselves, you know, how does that make you feel? You know, how does I have to deal with this too? And it's all about accepting ourselves as we are and just kind of looking further than that, looking more than the superficial.
Even, I mean, we don't often think how much our bodies are a contribution to us. We live with them. We're with them every day, and we see their flaws and the things we don't like about them. But what about the things that they do for us?
Exactly.
The breathing and the blood circulating and the, being able to sit in the chair and get up and move across the room when you want to, or, being able to cook or do things with your hands. That's a function of our body. And even our relationship with our body changes when we're more willing to receive it. When you're throwing daggers at it all the time, does it really want to lose weight? Does it really want to feel good? Does it really want to be healthy and vibrant? When all you're doing is judging it and not receiving from it.
And not being grateful and receiving and acknowledging the gifts that that each tissue, each, every type of tissue, and because it's like they say, we can't remake a body as it is. It would cost millions and millions and millions of dollars for a human to remake it. And okay, so we have a question, and then we can't forget number 5. Let me see. So Anna is asking, Jonda, I have a problem with receiving. Probably limited belief. What could have happened that made us raise walls or barriers and can't receive, especially when I love giving to others? It makes her happy to give to others.
So, one of the things is when you love giving to others, feel what it feels the opposite way. Because giving and receiving, gifting and receiving, and that's a very important point she brought up. When you look at the difference between giving, because that comes with an expectation, and there's a sense of polarity there. When you look at it as gifting, there is that possibility, that simultaneity, that oneness that comes with the gifting, because when you gift, you also receive. So back to that, analogy of, you giving me a cake and I don't receive it. You feel terrible, and I've just completely blown you off.
Right.
But when there's that simultaneity, my gratitude for the cake that you made for me is a gift to you, but my receiving of the cake is a gift to you.
Yes.
But it's also when you receive my gratitude for the cake, there's that oneness.
And if that's enough, so what do we have expectations when we're gifting?
Right. But when you're gifting with an expectation, that's a give or take reality.
Right.
There's polarity there. I'm expecting something from you. It's not true gifting. True gifting comes with no strings, no expectations. There's a sense of, I'm giving it to you because you're worthy. There's some judgment in there. But gifting and receiving go right hand in hand. There's no expectations or judgments there.
And I appreciate Anna for opening up and sharing this example. And so what would be, I know you gave us the 5 practical, the tips.
So,
but what would be something that she could maybe really notice or practice?
So I would say the raising the walls and the barriers probably has something to do with, kind of like your example with the little girl. During our lifetimes, certain things have caused us to raise those barriers, and I would suggest that she starts practicing being vulnerable and just like intentionally lowering the walls and barriers. So
Mm.
when she's having a conversation with a friend, just say, barriers down, barriers down, barriers down, walls down. And, I do a lot of asking questions, so it'd be like, universe, what would it take to have a conversation with my friends where I don't have my walls and barriers up? Or even go outside and practice with, the trees and the plants in your yard, barriers down, barriers down, barriers down. And now, can I receive from the grass? Can I receive from the dirt? Can I receive from these trees? Can I receive from the flowers? Can I receive from the insects? And just be in that place of allowing receiving. Now,
Mm.
I find sunlight is such a contribution, especially when you're a little bit chilly and you go outside and the sun is shining and it warms you, and you just, sit there and go, oh my God, this feels so good on my body. That's receiving,
Yes.
or when you're hot and a breeze blows through and it cools you off a little bit, and you're like, oh wow, that feels so good. Oh my God, that's a nice breeze. That's receiving. So when you start practicing with nature, letting your walls and barriers down and receiving all of it, and then start practicing on, your pets or your animals, and then start practicing with people, because you make those changes with your body when you start receiving from nature first, and then allow that to translate to animals. What can you, like, we have these amazing, most of us have pets, cats or dogs or bunnies or even fish, or birds, or, whatever your pet is, if you have it. Practice receiving from it. Animals love to receive. They're like, pet me, pet me, pet me. So see what it, how does this animal feel when I'm petting it? Can I have the same level of receiving that this animal does? Universe, can
Yeah.
you show me that level of receiving?
Mm. That just sounds amazing, and it's so true. We can all do that. And even if it's a rainy, cold day, it's like, well, I receive, the rain. We need the rain. The trees need the rain, or whatever it is. And it's
Yeah.
so amazing. So let's do tip number 5 before we
Okay.
forget. I hope that helped you, Anna. And I see a comment from Jace. Thank you. Agree with receiving the blessings of nature. Awesome. I hope you guys, this is helpful.
Yes.
And yeah, so we stopped on number 4. So we're just recapping it.
Yes. So number 5 is receiving is a function of being. So you can't have anything that you're not willing to be.
Mm.
So if you're not willing to be kind for yourself, you can't receive kindness from anyone else. If you're not willing to be money, you can't receive money.
Mm.
If you're not willing to be any energy, you can't receive it.
And to be is like, being it is feeling it, being in communion with it.
Yeah, it requires no effort. It's like the tree who receives the sunlight, and the sunlight nourishes the tree, and then the rain waters it. Or if you're outside and you're watering your tree, it receives everything without any point of view. It just bees the energy of receiving the sunlight. It bees the energy of receiving the water and the wind. And nothing like, we have a lot of palm trees in our yard, and it gets really windy here in Corpus Christi. And they just receive it, they just move with it. There's this symphony
Yes.
of sorts that the tree receives when the wind is just, going crazy. But it moves and it dances with it because it's just being that energy of receiving.
That sounds so amazing. I'm going to block. There's somebody here just sharing random comments. I'm trying to go in here and block this person.
Okay.
So sorry about whoever is writing these comments. Get out of
Okay.
here. Leave us alone. But that, I mean, just talking about that, it really does open up, right? So open up our mind, open up our hearts, open
Mhm.
up our hands,
Yes.
open up our energy, just really opening up. And like you said before, it all starts with releasing and letting go,
Mhm.
because basically you can only fit so much
Yeah.
in a glass, right?
You
And
have to
if,
let
and
go of the, I have to deserve it. I am unworthy of it. All of those points of view that, you know, that you shouldn't have it in your life, you know. And the truth is, the universe wants to give to us.
yes, and we don't have to do anything to receive it. We just have to allow.
We have to allow it.
At the beginning of the year, or at the end of last year, in a coaching program that I'm in with a lot of the beautiful people that are here, some of them, through Jay Shetty, we started, I think it was the year before. It was like setting an intention for the year. I can't remember how it started, or maybe it was at the beginning of the year. Like, what this year, like, what is the theme for the year?
Mm.
And I believe that's where I got it from. And so I forgot what last year it was. It was to be open to the possibilities, I believe. And this year was to allow and receive.
Beautiful.
Now it was 2020, so there was a lot of, weird stuff. But when we were talking about choosing a topic, I love, because by nature, a lot of us, and I think in general, women, we're givers, givers, givers,
Mhm.
right? And then we hold like a grudge or some expectations. Well, I do this, I give this. But we're also, we can set boundaries. We can do so many things that we've talked in other episodes, all these things. And receiving, it's about just really deciding and seeing the beauty in everything. And even if it's not beautiful, right? Like my lizard friend, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's a beautiful little animal. He's like, I don't want to keep him and pet him, right? Or it.
Right.
But I admire him, and I'm grateful for the window, right?
Mhm.
But I still have gratitude, and because he
Mhm.
eats the bugs around me. So sometimes I'll find myself saying a little like gratitude, thanks,
Mhm.
thanks, little lizard friends that live outside of my house. Just don't come inside, but stay outside and eat the bugs. Little things like that, to start building that muscle of gratitude, along with what can we let go so that we can start receiving. And I love the idea of it being a superpower,
It is. It is truly a superpower.
because we think that giving, I think we feel that giving is the powerful part.
Well, we've been told for, I don't know where we saw it, but it's better to give than receive.
Mm,
Well, that's not really true. If there's not that simultaneity, you're going to be locked in polarity. But when there is that beautiful synergy between gift and receive, everything's a contribution to you and you're a contribution to everything else.
wow. I love this so much. Martha wrote, wow, yes, you have to be willing to be it in order to receive it.
Mhm.
And so we can be, I guess, if we are in the grateful mindfulness, or
So it's you don't even have to be grateful for it to go outside and receive it,
mm,
like, it's you're just being present with it. You're allowing it to be a contribution to you. And by allowing it to be a contribution to you, you're being a contribution to it. There's no expectation, no judgment, no projection. You're just being that space. And of course, gratitude is amazing and beautiful.
It would be
But
like the next step, maybe.
it's just part of it. Like, that you're just being that space of contribution, being that space of receiving, being that space of oneness with everything. And you can just, yes, this is so, my life is amazing right now with the sun shining down on me and the breeze in my hair and, these trees that are, contributing to me so much, the grass and the dirt and the insects and, even the things that we don't think of are beautiful, like your lizards, but so many other things are such a contribution to us that we don't even think about it. It's that sense of oneness with all things, where you're not judging whether the insect is biting you or you've got weeds in your garden. You're
Right.
just, oh, it's a contribution. It doesn't mean you have to bring the insects inside, and it doesn't mean you can't pull the weeds. But when you see that everything is a contribution to it,
It's a symphony.
It is a symphony. It is a symphony.
Wow. I love that. And we're going to talk about your offer on symphonies. And Anna, the one that was asking the question, wrote, maybe we have been taught that receiving creates an expectation.
Yeah.
And also she's very thankful to you, Jonda, that you really helped see receiving in a totally different aspect, which I already love.
Oh, thank you so much, Anna. And I just want to plug a book real quick.
Yes.
I don't know if you can see it. Gary Douglas wrote a book called, or Gary Douglas and Dane here wrote a book called Money Isn't the Problem, You Are. And it says on here, what if it's all about how much you're willing to receive? So this is just an amazing book. It's very short.
I love
probably
that.
take you can do it in a weekend or maybe in an evening. And it starts to shift everything. Money isn't the problem, you are. Gary Douglas and Dane here.
Awesome. And that reminds me of some coaches. I know Bob Proctor said this, and I've heard it from a few other coaches, but in regards to money, it's like, tell me the most, I know this is the way Bob Proctor says it, like, tell me the most money you've ever made. Like, what's the highest salary you've ever made?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say whatever the person answers, 100,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll say, okay, I know what your limit is.
Yeah.
Because that's what you probably think that's the most you'll make.
Right.
And maybe all that person's goals would be like, if I can just make $100,000 a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have that mental money limit.
Exactly.
Because that's how much they've experienced. And 100,000 is a very nice salary, right? And so, but like, what if?
Yeah.
What if you could make twice that or 3 times or 10 times that?
How much more are you willing to receive?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm assuming that's where that book is kind of going with things like that. I love that.
Yeah.
Really connect with that. And yeah, Anna, wow, money isn't the problem, you are. Yeah. And that's the truth with so many things. And okay, so tell us about, is it a program? Is it an experience? It's a one event?
Right. So once a month, I do a Symphony of Possibilities group taster, just kind of like we're doing here. You register for it, and we do just a Zoom call. Everybody who's on the call gets the replay afterwards, and it's just an experience. So it includes healing, it includes magic, it includes possibilities, it includes removing limitations. I do a theme every month, and this one will be mesmerizing molecules. So we'll be talking about shifting the molecules of the universe, shifting those molecules that can contribute to you, to what you're seeking more in your life. So
mesmerizing is it's one of my favorite words.
yes, I love the word. So mesmerizing molecules. And let's see, okay, I'll put the link on the Facebook page
Okay.
at the bottom of this.
Okay, so you'll share the link, and so I invite everybody to
Yes.
join and register.
Yeah. Oh, and it's completely free. It's completely free, just like this is. And I'd love you to come. It'll be from 1 to 2 o'clock next Sunday, and
Central,
Central time.
1 o'clock Central. Yeah.
1 o'clock Central time. You can invite your friends. There's no limit to who can come. No requirements.
Amazing.
Just show up and enjoy the symphony energies.
Beautiful. So right before this show.
Yes.
So yes, so awesome. I can make it, or at least for
You
half
can.
of it.
Yes.
Yay. And also let me get your so please do follow Jonda in all her social media at let me make sure I'm getting it right.
Oh, Anna is from Greece.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So please follow Jonda, and Instagram is jonda.luminousblessings.
Mm-hmm.
And her Facebook business page is Luminous Blessings. And her website is luminousblessings.net. And then you can also email her at jonda@luminousblessings.net. And yeah, that's the best way you can find her and connect with her. Oh, and your Facebook page also, Jonda Watson.
Yes.
And so it would be so awesome if you guys also were doing this. I forgot to run my little banner before to find the YouTube channel where this show is housed. We are in 15 episodes, so we have 3 more episodes, and season 1 will end. I didn't know I was going to do 18 episodes, and I didn't know I was going to have a season 1, which means that I will have a season 2 sometime next year. And I'm just excited. So I appreciate if you subscribe and follow me there, and I will be uploading more videos. And also, I created a energy clearing group. It's called Inner Healing Amigos. It's a Facebook group, and you can just go to Facebook groups and just search Inner Healing Amigos. Amigos.
I love it. I love it.
And so Jonda, I used to do individual, basically energy clearing sessions as the complimentary session, and I realized my time and my resources would be better utilized if I offered it in a group setting. Mm-hmm. And so that's where, if anybody wants to experience any energy healing, energy clearing sessions, right now we're doing the chakras. So we started with the root chakra, and it was so powerful. I did 2 different sessions with the root chakra, the sacral, and today, in about an hour, we do the 4th episode, and Wonderful. We'll be clearing the solar plexus chakra. So a lot of the self-esteem energy and all of that, confidence, a lot of the things that we talk about a lot here. And so, so people, if you're interested in that, you're welcome to join us, and make sure you answer the questions to join. So I wanted to throw that in and do, so you're going to share that link to join your, what do you call it? A webinar?
Symphony of Possibilities. Yeah, it's a Zoom. Mm-hmm.
A Zoom call, Symphony of Possibilities. I am very excited to experience that. And I'm grateful for you, Jonda, to be here.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great fun. And thank all of you for coming and learning more about receiving your superpower.
Yes, I love this topic, and definitely we all needed this, and we are so grateful. Thank you, you guys. Thank you. really, it just means so much to me. When I started this, I didn't think that, I would have more than one person watching. And I don't do it for that. And so, the purpose is to help others and to share uplifting stories, uplifting content, and also to, help each other out.
Yeah.
I think that we're all on this evolution, right? This soul evolution, and I want to make it a happy one.
Yes.
And with Jonda and all her magic and the symphony of
Possibilities.
Definitely that's part of that. So yes, thank you guys so much. And thank you again, Jonda. I appreciate you.
Oh, I'm so grateful for you and to be able to do this today. It's been fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And sending you much love. And I see you guys next week. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart, you guys. Thank you. Everybody loved the topic. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you, Martha, Anna, Jace, and everybody that's watching. And also in the replay, do let us know what you thought. Write any comments, any questions. Write the word replay. And we look forward to reading more of your comments. So I'll see you next week, guys. Thank you so much. Have an awesome week ahead. And thank you again, Jonda. Many blessings. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye. Mwah.
Mwah. Ciao, ciao, ciao.